So Oklahoma is continuing to swing for the fences for multiple five-star players across this 2025 class. And after last year, where you landed a five-star interior guy, the year before you landed a five-star quarterback, a five-star safety, and a five-star defensive end, you feel good about where things are going. But now Oklahoma fans are looking at the offensive line, where this week we were supposed to have two big time official visitors. You only got one on campus. And I want to kind of give you an update because with the one that's on campus, I think you got a pretty good shot at now. The one that's not on campus, we got to talk about it. Before we do it, though, join the discussion. Jump in the comments below. Give me your thoughts on who you think Oklahoma's going to land. Now, before we jump into the five-star offensive lineman, so I was at the camp yesterday. I was talking to Jaden O'Neill's camp, and interesting enough, we were outside watching one-on-ones, and I look over at Jay, and I go, who's officialing right now? Because Oklahoma had their signage up and everything on the stadium as if somebody was taking an official visit. Well, come to find out like an hour later, Mark, and it's Iheanachor, I hope I said that right, Iheanachor is on campus for an official visit. Guys, he was supposed to be here like, I think Monday, Tuesday of this upcoming week, not Friday and Saturday. So, Thursday and Friday. So he gets on campus a little early, which kind of explains why Jaden O'Neil is going to be on campus a little bit longer, right? Both teammates out there. And by the way, we're going to be doing a camp breakdown later today. So y'all are going to want to tune in for that because some really great talent from the camp, and we got some great footage for it. Now, so interesting to see how that linebacker situation is going to turn out. You got Mark Iheanachor out there. You'll have Elijah Melendez on campus this week, and then you'll have Zadarius Rainey-Sell on campus as well. So let's see where Oklahoma is going to go there. Offensive lineman. So Ty Haywood supposedly not coming in. I saw a couple of you guys talking about it in the Discord, and I followed up with a couple people, and we were able to confirm that Ty Haywood's not going to be on campus, it sounds like. And guys, I want to land Ty Haywood. I really do. Like, he's out of a school that Oklahoma's pulled some pretty good talent from, and I think, you want to continue to be able to establish those roots, but he hasn't been to Oklahoma since September of last year. That's a long time to not be at Oklahoma. And I know Oklahoma's got a good relationship with him, but he's been to A&M recently. He's been to Alabama. He's been to Florida State, and he's got an official visit with Florida State next week. So, I mean, I'd be curious to see if maybe he moves the Florida State official visit and comes to Oklahoma for the Champion Barbecue maybe. But, guys, if you're an Oklahoma fan, like, I just don't want you guys to give your hopes up here. Ty Haywood, like, yeah, Oklahoma's in a great spot. Bill Beanugo's got a really great relationship with the kid. Just hasn't been to Oklahoma. And I get it. Like, some people refer to this to me as, well, it's like the Michael Fasusi situation. Well, not really, because Michael Fasusi went and visited other places and within a couple months came back to Oklahoma. Like, we're going to be close to almost a year out here at some point. But that kind of leads us into Michael Fasusi. So for those of you who you followed him on Twitter, you follow him on Instagram, did you all see who his host was for this week? The one and only Daniel Akinkumi, who he's been in this recruitment for a while. So for those, we've got a good relationship there. And so we've talked about it before, Daniel Akinkumi hosting him on unofficial visits and things like that. And Daniel Akinkumi's been putting in work, like long time work here. Fasusi's the prospect you want. If there's any five-star offensive tackle that you could look at, whether it's Rogers, Babaloa, Ty Haywood, like, Fasusi's the one you want. He's the most ready. And he's talked about it, about NIL being a factor in his recruitment. It's not like that's a secret at this point. But he also talks about how the long-term, I guess, benefits from coaching is also just as big of a benefactor. Because he understands what Bill Bedenbaugh has done, especially with just putting in two straight offensive tackles into the first round, but also all the other tackles he's put into the NFL over the past, 5, 6, 7 years. Like, he sees that. He understands the value in that. And so with Fasusi understanding that, Oklahoma's going to pitch a really competitive NIL offer. And I'm not here to say they're not going to beat anybody else's NIL offer. But at some point or another, you're going to have to look at Fasusi and say, listen, this might be our offer. And yeah, it might not be as great as somebody else's. But also, we get the Bill Beatonbow discount because he's got 2 first-round offensive linemen in back-to-back years. He might have a 3rd straight one at the tackle position, and he also might get a first-round center this year. So you come to Oklahoma, you're going to get developed if you put in the work, and you're going to get taken care of on the NIL front. And so I think this weekend, as I said before, this is a very crucial weekend in figuring out where Oklahoma sits in the Michael Fasusi recruitment. There's no and, if, or buts around it. Like, you should walk out of this weekend feeling like we're going to land Michael Fasusi. If you do not walk out of this weekend with that confidence, I can't tell you we're going to land him. Oklahoma has to get the momentum here, and they have to get it in their court. You've had Texas messing around here too long. Missouri's in this recruitment, and you have to take Missouri seriously because they will drop a bag. But they definitely don't have the development that OU and Texas have. So, looking at those two, it'll be intriguing to see where it goes from here. Then you got Andrew Babalola coming up for the Champion Barbecue. And you saw the Fong predictions for Stanford. So it'll be intriguing to see if Babalola still shows up. If he does, if Oklahoma can gain some momentum there. You've also got, we talked about Caleb Cunningham in the past, and I kind of wanted to talk about this one a little bit. Because Oklahoma was kind of like that team in the background that nobody talks about that's in a really good spot. And then, like, it kind of died a little bit. You haven't heard as much there. And I think it's because Caleb Cunningham really wants to stay closer to home, which is why you see Mississippi State and Ole Miss so much in that recruitment. Auburn is kind of the outlier with kind of getting him to even think about leaving the state. I mean, Alabama's not that far from Mississippi. The Florida schools, I just don't see it. Like, if you're going to go to a Florida school, you might as well come up to Oklahoma with Emmett Jones. So, Caleb Cunningham, I don't know if this is one Oklahoma lands, but it still intrigues me a little bit. Emmett Jones has the ability to pull out a 5-star a wide receiver, though. He still has that ability. So, I'm just waiting for it to happen. He almost got one last, with Bryant Wesco. But, yeah, guys, that was really it. Just wanted to update you on Mark Iheanachor being on campus early. And then you've got Ty Haywood not official visiting with Oklahoma this weekend. And then you've got Michael Fasusi getting Daniel Akankumi as his host for the official visit weekend. So I think that could go a long way for Oklahoma. Guys, if you have not already and you have made it this far, make sure you hit that like, you hit the subscribe button, join the discussion below, and let me know what y'all's thoughts are.